Here's more wrestling news for July 18th, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include: update on Harry Smith returning to WWE, Charlotte Flair refuted the claims of nepotism, why WWE is cracking down on American fans, unexpected claims made by Zelina Vega, Alexa Bliss is the projected winner for WWE Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, yet another WWE show is canceled, title match announced for next Friday's WWE SmackDown, what happened with Pat McAfee and WWE fans after SmackDown went off the air, WWE Champion Vince McMahon hits the gym hard at 75 years old, what happened with Roman Reigns after SmackDown went off air, and more. We're starting with SmackDown, and before this week's historic show, Harry Smith made his return to a WWE ring. Teaming with Austin Theory to defeat Odyssey Jones and Zyron Quinn, the son of the British Bulldog certainly impressed the right people and is here to stay. PW Insider reports that Smith has officially re-signed as a WWE superstar, but there's no word on which brand he'll be on. Last year, WWE had plans to bring Smith back as part of NXT UK, but those plans had to be put on hold due to the global situation. A former WWE Tag Team Champion, Smith returns after a decade away from WWE, and we now know his dark match before SmackDown was more than just a one-off. Now, it's hard to think of a female WWE superstar more successful than Charlotte Flair, who has the Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and Women's Tag Team titles, as well as a Royal Rumble win to her name. Of course, not everyone's been impressed by the Queen, and throughout her career, Flair has been plagued with claims that she's only a top star because of her father, Ric Flair. Speaking to South Korea's IB Sports, Charlotte refuted the claims of nepotism, saying, "He didn't pass the torch, I took it. I think for anyone who underestimated me just made me better. It's kind of like I've built an empire with the stones that people have thrown. It's like the chip on my shoulder. No matter what I do, people say this and that, and then it's like, use that as fuel, use that to tell stories, use that to get better." Flair raises some good points, and if being a Flair was all it took for her level of success, then surely David Flair would have been a multi-time world champion during his WCW tenure. As a natural athlete and an incredible heel, it's not hard to see why WWE treats Charlotte like a top star, but some fans still insist it all boils down to her last name. Fans in the United States can watch plenty of Charlotte and Rick on Peacock, which WWE signed a huge deal with to stream their content, but the rest of the world still uses the WWE network. For tech-savvy fans who prefer the original network, they can still access it thanks to a VPN, but the WWE are now cracking down on this. A tweet which has gone viral has shown a screenshot of an American fan who tried to access the network using a VPN, as it appears all American fans will have to get Peacock now. WWE is checking for VPN usage now, and unless a fan can find a VPN that can sail under WWE's radar, it appears the company has found a solution to the problem of American fans avoiding Peacock. On both the network and Peacock, fans can watch Zelina Vega, whose recent return to WWE saw her lose to Liv Morgan. It was interesting booking to say the least, as fans felt it hurt Vega's return, but according to Vega herself, she didn't lose the match. On Twitter, Vega called attention to the fact that her shoulder wasn't on the mat in the photo of her pinfall loss, saying it's proof Morgan didn't win. This got a response by Morgan, who says she lives, learns, and wins, and in response, Vega shared a text message which supposedly sees Morgan insulting Tamina Snuka. Tamina, Morgan, and Vega will all be a part of tonight's Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and Vega isn't above stirring up trouble mere hours before the three compete tonight. Tonight's Women's Money in the Bank ladder match will also see Alexa Bliss, who is looking to become a two-time Miss Money in the Bank, years after she last held the briefcase. In the years since then, Bliss has undergone a dramatic transformation, and fans could be seeing a much different side to the Raw superstar tonight. On Instagram, Bliss asked fans whether they'd like to see a new style of gear for the pay-per-view, and a whopping 95% of voters said yes. Bliss is known for changing her appearance often, so it'd be no surprise if she dons a new look tonight, and she could be adding the white briefcase to that new look very soon. Bliss is one of the 8 women in tonight's ladder match, and if rumors are to be believed, the demonic goddess will be leaving with the briefcase. BetOnline has Bliss as the favorite to win with 5-4 odds, with fan favorite Liv Morgan in second place with 7-2 odds. Natalya and Tamina are the least likely to win with 16-1 and 20-1 odds respectively, as fans should expect the iconic white briefcase to be heading to Raw. In recent weeks, fans have seen plenty of WWE superstars be moved around, with Samoa Joe and Mandy Rose being moved to NXT. One person who knows the gold brand well is Johnny Gargano, and in an interview with Busted Open Radio, the former NXT champion discussed seeing more main roster names move to NXT. "I would absolutely love that. NXT is a third brand. I think you should be able to send guys from NXT to Raw and SmackDown. You should be able to send guys from Raw and SmackDown to NXT. You brought up a guy like Cesaro. Trust me, we would love to have Cesaro. I think the dream matches you could get with Cesaro in NXT, they're amazing. Cesaro is one of them." In addition to Cesaro, Gargano also named AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, and Daniel Bryan as names he'd love to see in NXT, but insisted that a Gargano vs Cesaro match at TakeOver would be pretty wild. Given that Bryan isn't with WWE anymore, the odds of him jumping to the gold brand are pretty slim, but that won't stop the leader of the way hoping to see more top names from the main roster jump to the black and gold brand. Yesterday, we reported that the September 17th SmackDown that was meant to be in Atlanta, Georgia had been canceled, and now another show won't be happening. According to the official website for the O'Connell Center in Gainesville, Florida, the August 8th WWE Super Show has also been canceled, and fans will be able to get refunds from their original points of purchase. Like the Atlanta show, no reason has been given for the cancellation, and the show was meant to feature superstars from both Raw and SmackDown. We'll have to see if an explanation is given as to why either of these shows are canceled, as we imagine fans aren't too happy for their first tickets in over a year to WWE now being canceled. More from SmackDown, as Women's Champion Bianca Belair won't be competing this Sunday, as her originally planned match with Bayley underwent several major changes. With the role model injured, Belair's title match was moved to this week's SmackDown, and she defeated Carmella thanks to a hair whip and the kiss of death. Post-match, Carmella argued that 6 days was not enough time to prepare for a title match, branding the champ a cheater, and on Talking Smack, Belair accepted a rematch that'll take place on next week's SmackDown. That title match has now been made official, and whilst Belair will have her hands full with Carmella next week, she'll also have to keep an eye out for whoever holds the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. Since joining SmackDown, Pat McAfee has impressed fans on commentary, and this week, he finally got a chance to call the action with a live crowd present. Before SmackDown, McAfee told the Houston crowd that he loves the fourth largest U.S. city, telling them that they'll remember the show for decades to come. After praising Houston, McAfee turned his attention to Michael Cole, who's a Texan, claiming that Cole says Houston stinks. McAfee explained that like many Houston players leaving the city, Cole moved from Houston to San Antonio, drawing a chorus of boos at Cole from the crowd. Obviously, McAfee is a fantastic asset to WWE, and he knows how to get the crowd going, and we imagine this will be the first of many instances like this as WWE continues the return to live touring. Now, Vince McMahon is one of the hardest working men in entertainment and remains the leader of WWE as they enter the post-Thunderdome era. But the boss is never too busy to keep in shape. On social media, WWE's corporate trainer Michael A. Monteforte dropped a video of the chairman hitting the gym hard, as McMahon, even at 75 years old, can still clang and bang with the rest of them. Calling McMahon a bad mama jammer in the caption, Monteforte, like the rest of us, was impressed by the boss, who welcomed fans back during the opening on this week's SmackDown. It's unclear when this video was taken, but the daylight means it wasn't one of the chairman's famous midnight workouts, and the boss has absolutely no quit in him. And we're ending with Universal Champion Roman Reigns, who teamed with the Usos to defeat Edge and the Mysterios on this week's SmackDown. Reigns' reinvention as a heel has shown just how incredible his in-ring work is, and post-match, the Six descended into a brawl that saw Edge spear the Tribal Chief. This wasn't the end of things for fans in the Toyota Center, however, as during a commercial break after the brawl, Reigns made his way to the back and flipped the bird to the live crowd. Despite the spear on SmackDown, Roman Reigns is expected to retain the Universal title against Edge tonight, en route to possibly the biggest match of his career against John Cena at next month's SummerSlam. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.